When we said we wanted racism out of the United States, we were not talking about Cracker Barrel.
Why am I seeing that Cracker Barrel redid their logo? They took out the barrel and the cracker. I don't know. It shouldn't feel like a safe space. Like every time I went in, breakfast was good, but it's because I had my sausages and my pancakes, and I had a little side of racism with the service.
The feedback's been overwhelmingly positive that people like what we're doing.
Ladies and gentlemen, Behind the Line proudly presents to you another exciting edition of The Woke! Turning on the Woke. This episode is brought to you by DSA, Diversity Staffing Agency. Have you just been fired from your job because of your woke faith? Have you been unfairly terminated because you were willing to spread the disease of the woke fungus? If you were fired because of how you pray, contact the experts at DSA. DSA has a fully trained staff of professionals who are trained at hiring people based on anything but merit. We got Mo McDougal a job at ESPN. We made Bob Dylan Mulvaney the face of Bud Light. And we make this promise to you: we are willing to fight. Start your free consultation today by signing up at DSA.com. Yesterday morning, the flaming ass fire of the career of Julie Fels Masino was officially extinguished. Headline at CNN: Cracker Barrel CEO is stepping down. Let me go ahead and translate that for you. Julie Fels Masino was fired. Most of the time, when someone in a high-profile position is quote-unquote stepping down, that's just a polite way of saying your services are no longer needed. We will have security escort you out of the building. On the surface, it doesn't really make sense that Julie Masino was fired now, or quit, resigned. Doesn't matter which verb you choose, Julie Masino is unemployed. For starters, Julie appeared to be atoning for her white privilege last summer. She acknowledged her white guilt by becoming a loyal parishioner at Woke United Methodist. She implemented policies that focused on the disease of diversity. She wanted to make Cracker Barrel locations across the country a more inclusive place for all customers, especially those who are marginalized. As you saw in the opening clip of this video, she was interviewed by Michael Strahan last summer on Good Morning America. She was announcing the exciting rebrand of Cracker Barrel. And according to Julie, this doofus rebrand was a resounding success. Our employees love it. They feel so included. And our customers, oh, Mikey, our customers, they think it's great. Uncle Herschel's Country Breakfast, it has been renamed to Aunt Herschel's Urban Feast. Egg whites are now egg rainbows. That way all colors of the rainbow feel included. To be honest with you, if Julie Fels Masino hadn't gone on Good Morning America and announced the rebranding of Cracker Barrel, I don't know if anyone would have really noticed. I don't think there would have been much backlash. But because she went on a national platform and professed her newfound woke faith, the backlash was immediate. The backlash was so severe that Cracker Barrel immediately halted their rebrand. They fired the medical staff at Woke Memorial Hospital. They hired trained professionals. In other words, not pretend Dr. Jill Biden. They brought in real doctors who could eradicate the woke fungus. The Cracker Barrel rebrand, it was announced in August of last year. By Thanksgiving, Julie Fels Masino was essentially going on a sympathy tour. She sat down for an interview with Glenn Beck at an undisclosed Cracker Barrel location. The reason you can tell it's Cracker Barrel is because the food on the table looks unappetizing. My inside sources told me that they offered this food to the homeless who were sleeping in rocking chairs on the porch, and the homeless declined. They said that Cracker Barrel's food does not meet their standards. As you're about to see, Glenn Beck, Julie Masino, and the unknown dude sitting at the table, they sat down for dinner at Cracker Barrel and they refused to eat their own food. There's not a plate on this table that has been touched. Watch it for yourself.
Were you surprised you weren't fired?
I feel like I've been fired by America.
I bet you did. Yeah. That's probably worse.
It's hard because, again, all I've wanted to do is help people love this brand the way I love this brand, the way Doug loves this brand, the way everybody who works here.
The beginning of that answer, which is all that mattered to me, was the most genuine thing I have heard from somebody in your position in a very long time. I can see that I can see in your eyes right now. That hurt deeply, personally.
I want people to love this place.
It's hard not to feel bad for Julie Fels Masino. She realized she made a mistake. My guess is she knew in November that she was going to be fired. Kind of hard not to feel bad for her until you remember that this mistake should have been easy to avoid. How many companies have to be destroyed by the woke fungus? Again, Cracker Barrel. They added the woke wiener to their menu in August of last year. By that point, we had countless examples of the woke fungus turning once profitable businesses into the WNBA dump. Bud Light, Target. Remember when Bob Dylan Mulvaney became the face of Maybelline? It wasn't just normal people who boycotted Maybelline. Pro-Palestinian groups. They were outraged because Bobby D was the new face of their favorite makeup. Nike, North Face, the NBA, Major League Baseball, ESPN, Julie Fels Masino had countless examples of brands being destroyed by the woke fungus. But for some reason, she chose to embrace it anyway. Unsurprisingly, the end result was huge, embarrassing failure and the destruction of her career. Like I said, on the surface, it doesn't make sense as to why Julie Fels Masino was fired now. Firing her last year made sense. But over the last few months, Cracker Barrel has supposedly rebounded. Since January of this year, their stock price has increased 75%. Towards the end of January, Cracker Barrel shares were trading around $30 a share. Today, their stock price is $51. On the surface, Cracker Barrel seems to be doing great. But if you look into their financials, you realize that the stock price is simply polish on the turd. According to Julie Masino, on their third quarter earnings call, our Q3 results exceeded expectations driven by our operating cost and actions. Translation: we're not improving or rebounding based on sales. We're not improving based on recapturing lost business. Our financials are improving because we are cutting costs and selling assets. Cracker Barrel sales decreased by almost 3%. Traffic at restaurants declined almost 7%. Even though the stock price has rebounded, it is still down 18% compared to last year. This time last year was right before Julie Masino added the woke wiener to the menu. Last week, Cracker Barrel announced that they were selling Maple Street Business Company. They sold 35 locations and they permanently closed the remaining 16. They also completed a sale leaseback deal with 26 Cracker Barrel locations, which generated $77 million in revenue that they are going to use to pay down debt. Yesterday, Fox Business published an article about this ongoing disaster at Cracker Barrel. Towards the end of the article, they included a quote from some dude named Bruce Turkle, who describes himself as brand expert Bruce. To his credit, Bruce made an excellent point. He said, a brand is not what management wants it to be, it's what customers believe it is. That Bruce, he is a smart guy. I echo similar sentiments all the time here on the channel. I often tell you guys, you drive the topics. I select topics that you're interested in. There's a reason I quit focusing so much on CNN, MSNBC. There's a reason I quit talking about the Yentas on The View. You guys told me, whether directly or indirectly, that you're tired of those topics. You think I wanted to waste a Saturday night watching the WNBA All-Star Game? You think I wanted to spend 3 hours watching a collection of unknowns pretending to be stars? You think I wanted to watch Angel Reese fall down while attempting to walk? I watched the All-Star Game, and I would gladly watch it again, because I knew the following morning you would want to hear about it. You know, oftentimes, all it takes is one mistake to ruin your career. Remember last year when Megyn Kelly told her audience to do this?
Hateful people whom I used to call friends, who have been all over the internet trying to shame me and say that no one should ever listen to this program again because I haven't spoken out on the Erica-Candace conflict. Go fuck yourselves.
I don't know what it is about Megyn Kelly cursing, but it feels desperate. It feels forced. There are very few people who don't know how to cuss. Megyn Kelly, one of them. And I don't know why that is, but every time she does, it just feels like she's trying to fit in with the cool kids. Look at me, guys. I'm cool. Pick me. Pick me. Anyway, once Megyn Kelly delivered that passionate soliloquy to her audience, a lot of them obeyed. A lot of them listened. And they told Megyn Kelly to get off my TV. 2006 NFL offseason. Nick Saban, he is the head coach of the Miami Dolphins. Drew Brees is coming off potentially career-ending shoulder surgery. Only 2 teams in the league were looking to sign him, the Dolphins and my Saints. Drew Brees wanted to play in Miami for obvious reasons. New Orleans hadn't recovered from Hurricane Katrina. The city at the time was literally a toxic dump. But doctors in Miami, they advised Nick Saban not to take a chance on Drew Brees. Unfortunately, he listened. Nick Saban signs, I think it was Dante Culpepper. Drew Brees revitalizes the city of New Orleans. Nick Saban never coached again in the NFL. One decision, one mistake, essentially ended Nick Saban's NFL career. Julie Fels Masino, she made one monumental mistake. This time last summer, Cracker Barrel was already struggling, but those struggles, they were not enough for Julie Masino to get fired. Problem is, she took those struggles and she turned them into toxic turds. 12 months later, that one mistake ended her career. Sound off in the comments below. I'll see you guys later.